right away.
Engine room, ahead 1/4. Sound the last bell. Leadsman, sound off. Give me a depth reading by the mark.
By the mark. Halfway.
Mark 4. Engine room, ahead 3/4. Stand by. Steady as she goes. Captain?
Welcome aboard the Liberty Bell. I'm your captain, Horace Bixby, and my pilot with me here on the Texas deck is a young cub that goes by the name of Sam Clemens. He's marking his 100th voyage down the river today with nary a calamity on his watch so far. Sam knows this river like his own backyard. Sam, tell our guest everything you know about this river.
Well now, I always figure it is better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than to open it and remove all doubt. More than anything else. I've loved this river, even from the time I was a toddler back in Missouri. Before we get too much further out of port, I think I should mention that you best not be sitting on those handrails. They're the only thing between you and the river, and the river don't always take kindly to uninvited guests. We've also had reports of river pirates operating in the vicinity, so I wouldn't lean out beyond those rails for that reason either. On the port side, that river town we passed through was frontier land. A few years back, it was no more than a boom town carved out of the wilderness by a handful of settlers looking to start a new life. Today, utility and decorum are running rampant. Oh, it still has its share of footloose trappers, heel boaters, prospectors, and Indians too, but mostly it's flush time and well on its way to becoming a fine big city. Frontierland reminds me some of my own hometown, Hannibal. It takes me back to when I was a barefoot boy growing up alongside the riverbank. You know, it seems to me that when I was younger, I could remember everything, whether it happened or not. But as I grow older, I seem to remember only the things that never happened at all. Across the way on the starboard side was my stomping grounds when I was young. Exceedingly young. Marvelously young. Young by hundreds of years. Younger than I will ever be again. It's called Tom Sawyer's Island and is named for a friend from my boyhood. Even today, the only way you can get there is by raft. Old man Harper's grain mill is there, back in the woods just off Tom's Landing. And that's Muff Potter's pond and his windmill. We almost came Huck once. And there's Huck's Landing. I always did like Huck. He could swear just wonderful. He and Tom and I spent most of our wild and reckless youth exploring that island. Lots of caves, lots of adventure, if you know where to look. And we all knew where to look. That's Superstition Bridge. It connects the Big Island to the Little one. And if you follow the Wilderness Trail there, it'll lead you right up to the gates of Fort Langhorne. It's the last trading outpost before we head into Indian country.
I need you to stop saying no. Where you got your driver's license? That's why I said stop saying no.
the port side there. Every now and then, the water under that crest of rock comes to a natural boil and spurts out all over the place like a tea kettle left on the fire too long. The Indians around here used to tell me these geysers were actually unfriendly spirits, upset by uninvited trespassers traipsing all over their sacred hunting ground. Be that as it may, that big Thunder Mountain holds up in the sky. The Indians knew that because the sound the falls used to make when the big rains came. Then the miners and prospectors and get-rich-quick speculators showed up, and the name stuck because of the sound of blasting powder going off every few minutes. There's not so much blasting these days, just ghost stories about a runaway mine train loaded down with simple-hearted, terror-filled folks like you. Look who's drifted out of the bayou. Port Captain, it's Beacon Joe.
Old Beacon's been marking this river for longer than I can remember. Every time the river cuts a new channel, Old Beacon puts out a marker to let us know whether it's safe to travel or not. However, Sam here has been bragging that push came to shove, he can navigate the Liberty Bell on a heavy duty. Isn't that so, Sam?
Well, I was born humble, Captain, but mostly it's worn off. Indian village to port.
Now that's something you don't see much out this way. That's an Algonquin Indian village. Looks to be from the Powhatan tribe. Usually they stay further east. I've seen Seminole and Miami this far west, and of course Shoshone, Blackfeet, and Crow, but I've never seen Algonquins out here.
Lots of game out this way. I've seen moose and deer and plenty of other critters along the shoreline.
That could be why the Powhatans are out this far. Just following the food trail. That other village off to port has been here a while. Most of the Indians along the river don't quite know what to make of our steamboat. They call it Penelor, which means fire canoe, because of the smoke and sparks pouring out of our topsail. And the first time we passed this way, they thought it was the return of one of their heavenly messengers. They said our riverboat was a comet of the sun. village up that hill is their sacred burial ground. And those who fall in battle are placed atop the traditional bed of death. After nightfall, they'll return to mourn the great warriors who brought honor to the tribe.
Attention deck watch. Shoals to port and starboard. Engine room, steady on.
We're entering shallow water, but there's no cause to worry. Sam knows every shoal and shallow, every snag and sandbar in this part of the river. He'll navigate us through to save water. You wouldn't steer us wrong, would you, Sam?
I believe we ought never to do wrong, Captain. Especially when others are looking. Leadsman, sing out.
For the last three, I've played, not played. For the last, let's play, touch it.
Those of you that have been this way before know that the water can get fairly shallow along this stretch of the river. The leadsman call out the depth. Each mark is a fathom of 6 feet. Mark 20 is 2 fathoms, and for us that means safe water.
Captain, we're passing Cutthroat Corner. Attention deck crew, stay alert. If there's river pirates out here, this is where they'll most likely be. I can hear them from here. After all the commotion, it sounds like their interests lie elsewhere. If you folks on deck look past the trees on the island, that's Fort Langhorne. Most of these old forts started out as trading posts. Then as settlers started heading west, the army came in and took them over. My feeling is, these days, there's a lot less frontier and a lot more civilization than is truly necessary. Leadsman, give me a depth reading. Sing out.
By the mark, halfway, up one, halfway, no bottom, save water, halfway, save nothing.
Mansion back over yonder there in the wood? I've heard folks hereabouts say it's haunted. They say it was built on sacred Indian burial grounds, so now it's filled with spirits. If you ask me, I'd say the ones telling those tales are the ones filled with spirits. If you want proof, just ask them. They got it. About 100 proof, I reckon. And whatever you do, don't strike any matches if they aim to breathe in your direction. Or you won't just be seeing ghosts. You'll be joining. We're approaching Liberty Square, which is home port for us. We'll be putting into dock shortly, so those of you on the upper 2 decks might be of a mind to collect all your parcels and head to the lower deck. If you got youngins, you'll want to take them in hand before they get out of hand. On behalf of the captain, myself, and the crew, thanks for flying the waterways with us. I hope I see you next time round the river bend.
Thanks, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for traveling the rivers of America with us today.
Well, folks, we're now approaching Liberty Square dock. If we would please.
A bit wilder, big thunder. Favorite leg of the journey. Lush wilderness, calm waters, and untamed beauty. Folks, we're in nature's wonderland. Isn't it something? Just think of the extraordinary things to see and do in these woods. Hiking trails, bird calls, fireflies, and starry nights. Setting out for adventure at sunrise and telling the tale around a campfire that night. Considering how wonderful things are out here, I'm fortunate that some of my closest friends call it home. That village is a truly special place. Folks, we're just about out of the woods and into the forest. The enchanted forest of Fantasyland, where magic